There are usually good reasons why a scene is cut from a movie, and sometimes if those scenes weren't cut, the entire plot of the film may have changed. Adding additional scenes in movie can change the character's arc, the actor's performance, or even the way the film unfolds. It's great to sit back and enjoy these deleted scenes to imagine how the film might have been. Let's take a look at Screen Rant's 10 superhero deleted scenes that could have changed everything. And as we go through our list, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join our notification squad for awesome content like this daily. Now, before we start our superhero list, can you guess this movie from these emojis? Stay tuned for the answer at the end of our video.
Kill power.
Iron Man. In the final version of Iron Man, Tony Stark keeps his identity hidden until his big reveal at the end of the movie. In the original cut, when he flies into Afghanistan to save villagers, he actually had to make an alibi to keep his identity hidden. In a deleted scene, he throws a party in Dubai and runs into the Wu-Tang Clan's Ghostface Killah, who introduces him to two friendly girls. Tony picks up a third girl, and once in his room, he excuses himself and flies to Afghanistan by not so slyly hiding in the fireworks. But none of this makes sense. He's not hidden in the fireworks, and now he has three women wondering where he is. Plus, Wu-Tang Clan isn't even on the soundtrack. If this scene was left in, it probably would have raised too many eyebrows in the film that launched the MCU to new heights.
You should be Professor X, and you should be Magneto.
X-Men First Class. Magneto is a terrifying mutant. He can bend metal to his will, which makes him a lethal threat to all of those around him. When you see the actors that play Magneto on screen, you feel a sense of terror. They are strong actors, but the actor that played Magneto in X-Men First Class, Michael Fassbender, might have lost some of that terror if they kept in a deleted scene. When Professor X and Magneto go to a strip club to locate another mutant, they show her they're the same as her. When Magneto lifts a champagne bowl with his mind, then she reveals her talent. Originally, they were also going to have Professor X make her think Magneto was in a dress to show his powers, but luckily for everyone, they cut it out of the film. We're pretty sure he wouldn't have been as menacing if this scene was left in. The Incredible Hulk. With 2008's The Incredible Hulk, Marvel had a second chance of rebooting the Hulk franchise after the failure of 2003's film. You'd be surprised at finding out that a scene they deleted was horrible wrong for this film and was actually going to be the first time we see Bruce Banner get a little too angry. Dressed as a pizza delivery man, Banner breaks into his old college lab and he hopes to find a cure for his condition. To keep things real, he actually delivers a pizza to a sorority where the girls treat him horribly and even claim they don't have to pay for the pizza. He almost hulks out on them, but controls his green temper and moves on from this unforgettable and pointless scene that might have brought the film on par with its predecessor. The Amazing Spider-Man. When the villainous lizard invades Peter Parker's high school, he climbs out of a bathroom stall, but he originally arrived through another toilet. This toilet's main difference is that it changed the entire character on his arrival. Not only is this toilet in the girl's bathroom, but it has two girls in the stall he arrived in. After scaring these girls, he goes from lizard villain to perverted villain. He licks one of the girls across the face, which is a little creepy and out of character since this is the first and only time he does something like this. We don't know what the filmmaker were thinking, but it would have completely changed the way we looked at this villain. It seemed like a smart cut to us. Did you prefer the final version or the deleted scene?
You're unbearably naive.
Well, I was born yesterday.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. After the birth of Vision, the Avengers originally had an awesome fight scene that showed off Vision's superpowers and lasted a few minutes. In the final cut, Vision and Thor briefly tussle, but Thor whips the newly born superhero toward the windows, whereupon Vision sees his reflection and stalls the fight. The final version helps the story because if they went with the fight sequence, it would remind us too much of the birth of Ultron, and it is more interesting to learn about Vision's superpowers later on. Not to mention, it's a lot more enjoyable to see the team fight against their own in Captain America: Civil War. Who would you like to see fight it out between each other from the Avengers team? Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. When the film Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice opened to a record-breaking weekend, Warner Bros. Studios decided to release a deleted scene. This was the director's way of doing a post-credit scene without looking too much like he was stealing from Marvel. In the scene, we see a group of soldiers descend into the Kryptonian scout ship and surround Lex Luthor, who is communicating with an alien hologram entity. What makes this more interesting is it appears to be holding 3 mother boxes, which are all powerful living computers created by the new gods, the race of powerful beings that long-running villain Darkseid is a member of. This opens a lot of questions, such as, is this Steppenwolf or Yuga Khan, Darkseid's father, or maybe you have another guess for us? Regardless of what it is, all will be explained when Justice League hits theaters in 2017.
I'm AntMan. AntMan? What, you haven't heard of me? No, you wouldn't have heard of me.
AntMan. When Hank Pym and Scott Lang meet for the first time, it is done through a speaker in Lang's helmet during his first attempt at wearing the ant suit. This makes for a fun cat and mouse scene while Lang is completely confused and Pym has the upper hand, but this wasn't how they originally met. Initially, Lang goes to Pym's house disguised as a cable repairman to case out the joint before his heist, and that's when we first meet Pym. They also originally didn't have the opening 1989 backflash scene. Pym acts like he is an elderly man with little mobility, but he's ultimately making sure Lang would be a good fit for his Ant-Man suit. The Avengers. Originally, Joss Whedon had plans for the Avengers to be told from Captain Rogers' perspective instead of the version we saw. A deleted scene from the Avengers shows his desire to do this and the reasons he cut it out. The scene takes place before Nick Fury meets Cap at the gym and shows Rogers trying to integrate into the modern world. If this scene would have stayed in the film, we would have had a different story with slower pacing and more of a dramatic style. The Avengers has a lot of humor in the film, and this sort of storytelling would have changed it all. It may also have hurt the 2014 film Captain America: The Winter Soldier, because many of Captain's issues handled in this cut scene were addressed in the sequel.
In their last moments, people show you who they really are.
The Dark Knight. When a scene is cut out of a film, it is usually done to keep the film's pacing moving forward and not slowing down the segment. In the film The Dark Knight, that's exactly why they cut some of the Joker's scenes. After the Joker blows up the hospital, we see him jump into a bus, and that's the last we see of him in this segment, but originally they were going to show him inside the bus as it drove away. This additional shot takes away from the kinetic energy set by the Joker by having his just sit there. A small scene like this can ruin an audience's reaction to a performance, and since this was an Oscar-winning performance for Heath Ledger, we are glad they didn't add it. It looks like they gave us just enough Joker, but what do you think about the cut? Logan. The first R-rated X-Men film is quickly becoming a fan favorite for the mutant franchise. The film is dark and doesn't have many upbeat moments, so when they shot a scene addressing Logan and Jean Grey, we can understand why they cut it. The film originally featured a scene where Professor Xavier spoke about Grey and Logan being married. He also mentions that Logan killed Grey. This isn't what we call light conversation, and since the film went from this scene to dark places, the director felt it should be cut out. Luckily, we will see this scene in the special features soon and how Logan reacted to the conversation. How do you feel about these cuts? Did you want more Heath Ledger Joker scenes, or maybe you would have liked to see Banner Hulk out over an unpaid pizza? Which deleted scene did you like the most? Make sure to check out our other videos, and thanks for watching.